What's up, Soul Family? Coming at you with another collective reading. If you're looking for messages from your angels, ancestors, guides, deities, then I could have a message for you, even if they might not be from this reality. I think we can draw knowledge and inspiration from all aspects of creation, not just ones that are, or that we consider to be within this construct of reality. If you want a one-on-one reading, you can do so by directly messaging me or with the link in the bio. The first reading is $20 for 20 minutes, and you can ask whatever questions you want, or I can just pull and see what comes out. And if it doesn't resonate, then I'll simply refund you. Now, that being said, let's jump right in. We have four-leaf clover, which is good fortune, pretty direct. Lion, which is time to act. And then we have tree, which is affairs with your family. So already I feel like you're being called to continue to put time and effort towards like whatever goals you have with your family, or continue to act on whatever your intentions are. Sometimes whenever we have uncertainty, we tend to kind of get stuck in analysis paralysis. But I think when we're being called to action, it's saying that, okay, the plans we have are solid. The mindset, the intentions, and what we are acting on are all valid and good enough to continue to take action towards. But I think as well, it's also important to make sure that we're not just like burning out and that we're taking the appropriate steps to also balance out what is action and aligned action with rest, just all the same. So then we have the Page of Swords. I think keeping an open mind to whatever you are trying to, like, a lot of times we can set intentions, but how reality will respond or will create the playing field for those intentions might not always be how we're expecting it. So sometimes being open to different possibilities can help. There's that, and then sometimes there's the energy of being like, if we have certain intentions and starting to learn how to accomplish them. The Page of Swords is also like a very studious card. So I'd like to think that when the Page of Swords pops out, we're being called to also, if we have intentions or things we're trying to work towards, put a lot of energy and effort towards learning about how to maintain them. So then the King of Swords, maybe you are somebody who is also or already very good at being logical, being very planned and calculated and strategic, and being very concise with how you approach things. So I think there's a need to continue to embody that with whatever you're trying to embrace or create. I think there's a need to continue to try your best to be as calculated, as planned, as intelligent, as rational with with approaching whatever affairs you're acting on. And on the other end, I think maybe you are also experiencing like maybe something really difficult. Like maybe you're also healing from a lot of heartbreak and a lot of tumultuous times and a lot of pain. So I think it's important to, while we are also in that exact same breath trying to heal ourselves or trying to take action, I think we also need to be mindful not to go too overboard with what we're doing. And sometimes with the King of Swords and Three of Swords combo, it's also calling towards allowing ourselves to feel whatever emotions that we have versus kind of succumbing to them, or not succumbing to them, versus like trying to rationalize them too much. Sometimes we can be so intellectual or so intelligent that we're not giving ourselves enough space to simply feel and process things, and we're trying to intellectualize why we feel something or how we're feeling something or how we are doing something, when in reality sometimes we just have to be able to feel and process it instead of trying to overthink and put too much energy behind trying to figure out why versus just acknowledging that this is. Let's pull just a couple more. I like the car engine in the background right as these fell out. So then we have the Chariot with Judgment card. So I think you're in an energy where you are being called to trust your higher self, trust the universe, the divine, whatever you call or whatever your connection is out there, and to continue to charge forward with whatever you can. Sometimes it's like it feels like an uphill battle. Sometimes we can be exhausted and the rest that we get might not be enough for what we are trying to accomplish or what we need. But sometimes we just gotta do the best we can, recover to the best of our capacity, and then still move forward from there. It's like, yeah, we can be exhausted, but at the same time, we can still sometimes push past certain limits that we might have had. And I'm not saying that you have to completely disregard your limits. I'm not saying that you have to completely shut down and not feel anything or not allow yourself to recuperate. But what I am saying is there could be times like where, yeah, you might be called to rest, but you're also being called to, when you are able to, go full speed ahead and take full charge and trust your intuition and trust your guides and trust that the path that you're on is going towards something. Even if you are exhausted, even if you feel as if like things are not moving, even if you are like not seeing the movement that you want, it's like trusting in the unseen and still taking action as you are trusting the universe and reality to catch up and conform to whatever actions you are taking. So there's definitely the energy of balancing out action and or I wouldn't say overdrive, but driving forward with your willpower. And then with the King of Cups on the bottom. So there's definitely the energy of mastering and controlling your emotions to the best of your ability, and also still giving yourself compassion. It's like, yes, honoring your emotions for what they are and giving them space and feeling them and allowing yourself to really be with maybe the difficult things, but at the same time not like, again, trying to over rationalize it. And maybe you're somebody who already has a certain level of emotional intelligence. Maybe you're already really good at relating to your emotions, feeling them, processing, and, you know, connecting to them. But there are still periods and times like where maybe we are being called to, or especially since the King of Swords came out prior, maybe there are times like where we are falling into the habit of intellectualizing things and trying to rationalize things versus just allowing and doing what we feel and what we are intuitively called to do, even if it doesn't like seem like it makes sense to us or even other individuals as we are taking actions on things. Sometimes the aspect of self-care or emotional control or regulating your emotions or having high emotional intelligence is knowing how to put yourself in the proper state of being intentionally and doing what you can to navigate these very difficult times and difficult waters. So I think like you are going through or arguably something very heavy and painful, but I think how you navigate through it is what's going to make all the difference. And I think the more that you push yourself through, it's like if you're going through hell, don't stop. It's like you want to obviously rest and recover. You know, if you're on fire and you're burning and you're in pain and you want to take a second every now and again to kind of, recuperate. But then you also don't want to stay in that fire, and you also don't want to keep burning. You want to keep moving until you get to the point where you want to get to. So I think there's the energy of, again, acknowledging the pain and the difficulties and the need to rest, but then also the importance of continuing to move forward through whatever trials that you're going through. But hopefully this resonated and made sense. I'm going to call it a reading or call it from there. So peace and blessings. I hope you guys have an amazing night.